Welcome to the 323rd episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on February 12th, 2023. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who has very likely had more coffee than I have, Carlos Rodella.
I've had a lot of coffee this morning, and that is for sure.
I have had not nearly enough, man. I need to catch up to you, and quick.
I get like normal mocha at Starbucks, of course. And then I get like extra coffee, like those nitro cans, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I keep them in the fridge, so like I just kind of like top up my mocha.
Sure.
It's got like a little chocolate in the bottom, so I have like another mocha. And yeah, I'm wired. Let's go.
Ha. I can't drink Starbucks anymore. I used to, and then I really just like fell off of it. I think with age, I've kind of like wanted less and less sugar in my diet. And also I've kind of gotten tired of the Starbucks, char. People call it Charbucks for a reason, right?
Wait.
So I just do my stuff at home now. What?
Char meaning what?
Like it's burned. Starbucks coffee's always burned.
Now, here's the thing. It's location-based, so no, not always. And also, when you get a mocha like I do, it's mainly a chocolate taste. It's like chocolate coffee.
Their chocolate's gross, though. I hate their chocolate.
See, now there's where I disagree again. It's Ghirardelli, I believe, which I love.
I hate Ghirardelli.
Well, there you go. There's your problem. I mean, not your problem. It's just your...
My preference.
Yeah.
I just drink a lot of drip coffee at home. We get some good beans from a local roaster over in Greenwood, and I like their blend. Really nice blend. Low oil, low acid, no citrus notes, which is the number one kiss of death in a coffee for me. And Starbucks loves citrus. I don't know if you're like a coffee head or not, but like citrus notes in coffee, you might as well just like let diarrhea go in my mouth, dude.
Oh, jeez. Really? I want to edit that out. But I won't because our listeners know we just don't edit things.
Yes. If nothing else from this podcast today, take away from this show that Brad hates citrus notes in his coffee.
Yeah, and also to get that whole image out of my head, I like peppermint in my mocha as well, so that kind of changes the taste palette for me.
Gotcha.
Anywho, this isn't the coffee cast.
It could be, but it's not. No, folks, we are back. It's me. It's Carlos. It's episode 323. We're doing the show a little bit earlier than normal, a hair earlier, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit punchy. Have not finished even one coffee yet, which is a serious problem, but we're going to power through. And as everyone knows, we start everything off every week, every show, with Carlos and I doing some housekeeping. He and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. That's right, it is housekeeping. I got maybe 2-3 things. What do you got this week, Carlos?
I have 6 or 7 boxes. I'll pick just a few. But before we even get started to the boxes, I want to say, was it last episode was our most controversial episode ever?
Yes, that was, yes.
Yeah, we got into some stuff.
We did.
But I realized it didn't get a ton of views or listeners. So, I mean, people checked it out we all, you all do. So Thank you for listening. But it wasn't something that was going to be lit on fire and all the comments are crazy. And I just thought it was going to be nuts, right? Because it isn't, we're just not going to do a controversial episode ever again.
I mean, I think that's actually good because number one, we didn't hype it as a clickbait controversial episode. We promoted it like a normal episode. So if people were not looking for the attention grabbing headlines, they wouldn't have been drawn to it anyway. And I actually think that's really good because the people who listen to our show, I would like to imagine, are very, handsome and beautiful, smart, well-educated people who've got great opinions. And so, of course, they're going to agree with us. They're not going to be mad at us in the comments because we're speaking the same language. That's why they listen to us week after week. I think we're on the same vibe,
We're on the same vibe. It's okay if you're on a different vibe. But also, yeah, it wasn't controversial in any real sense. So it's well, we don't need to fully really go there. And on top of that, you come to the podcast for video games.
Absolutely.
So we're really going to focus on those. But anyways, I just thought I'd bring that up because there's so many controversies going on every week. We're just not going to delve into them all because there's just too many.
That's a whole separate podcast.
Yeah. All right. So back to the coffee cast.
Carlos, why don't you start with your stuff and I'll wrap it up at the end here. So what do you got? What's your boxes today?
Well, let's start off with these boxes that are called Demo Chat.
Demo Chat?
New section it could be called for the podcast. Demo Chat. Because demos come out all the time, and I don't know if we really cover them enough. But one came out for Octopath Traveler 2. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, this is kind of parlaying. Are you going to talk about the Nintendo Direct or just the demos?
I'm not really. I'm not, again, not the biggest Nintendo fan right now, but it did happen, and there's a bunch of stuff, including new Zelda. But Octopath Traveler 2 was there. The demo is out now, and I like that. I'm pretty sure it carries over. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Or it's a prologue or something.
But I think it does save your data, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. Also, the Sea of Stars demo came out.
Yes.
Which people have been really excited about. So I saw those. What else did you see from the Direct that you thought was cool?
Yeah, this was actually, I think, the strongest Direct we've seen in a while. The whole family got together on the couch to watch it, and there was something there for all of us. Like, I was excited about a few. My kid was excited about a few. My wife was definitely excited about a few. Zelda, whatever. I mean, everybody knows Zelda. It's going to be the 400-pound gorilla as soon as it lands. So everybody's going to play that. I'm sure it's going to be great. So whatever. We don't need to really talk about that. But exciting stuff. New Professor Layton. I was very excited about that. Yeah. My wife was going bananas over that because we're huge Professor Layton fans. And the first trilogy, amazing stuff. I think those are just like really classic, really well done games. I love them so much. It got a little long in the tooth because they kept going back to the same formula, and we kind of fell off of like the latter trilogy. And I certainly didn't care much for the mobile game. But it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a new Professor Layton, and I'm ready to get a new Professor Layton. I hope that they bring it back, and I would just love to be in that world again. Pikmin 4 looks real fun. We're big Pikmin fans at this house. We all play Pikmin. That's exciting. Rain Code is a maybe. That's from the people who made, or at least some of the people who made Danganronpa. And Danganronpa is amazing and fantastic, and one of my favorites, one of the best visual novels I've ever played. But that team has been kind of, I mean, this sounds kind of harsh and I don't mean to be insulting, but they've been on a bit of a losing streak lately. Their last, I think, 2 games I have not cared for. They kind of lost the magic. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a three-peat for games I don't care for, or if they're going to reclaim some of that juice. We'll see.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
Return to form, maybe.
Could be. Hopefully so, but we'll see. But, Danganronpa is such a unique, once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing. I hope that they're not chasing it because I just don't think you can capture that lightning in that bottle again. I want them to do something different because they're a very talented team, but I feel like they're a little bit trapped in trying to reclaim past glory. So we'll see. Baten Kaitos, I was extremely shocked. You could have knocked me over with a feather when they dropped that one. That was from, I want to say, the 360 days. I played it back in the day, and I thought it was really well done. It's an RPG, JRPG, but it's also a deck battler, and one of the earliest console deck battlers at the time. So they're not nearly as common back then as they are now. And so that was a really pretty radical thing. And I thought it was pretty well done. I can't remember if I beat it or not, but I remember really liking it. And it's possible I even rented it back then. It's very possible.
Oh my goodness.
Back when you went to a place and paid money to rent a physical thing and brought it back to your house, that's weird.
Wait, side note on that. People are talking about, rumors are going around, at that big football game that's happening today. There's a football match. I probably won't watch it. I don't know about
like
the
soccer
footballs.
or American football?
No, American football. NFL.
Okay.
I'm making a joke.
Oh, okay.
The Super Bowl's today.
Is that today?
Yeah. I know. I didn't know either.
I had literally no idea, dude.
So anyways, people are talking about Blockbuster having an ad in the Super Bowl that's coming up, and they think they're going to have a comeback or something.
No.
That's what they said. That's what I heard.
No,
There's still one around, remember? It's in here in Oregon, I think.
Is there just there's just one though left, right?
There's one, yes, but that's what I'm hearing. So it's a rumor.
I don't know.
Anyways, back to Nintendo Direct.
Let's get back to the list here. Ghost Trick is coming to the Switch.
Oh yeah.
Have you played Ghost Trick?
I played it back in the day, yeah. It was okay. I don't know.
You didn't like it that much? I thought it was phenomenal. I thought Ghost Trick was awesome. I loved it. My wife loved it. To me, it's one of the unsung heroes of Capcom where like it was brilliant, it was fresh, it was exciting, great mechanics, funny story, and like fucking nobody played it. It was just like complete crickets, which drove me crazy. So I'm glad it's going to get a second chance, and I would love to see a second one of those for sure. Wife was thrilled for the Etrian Odyssey Origins collection. They're collecting games 1 through 4. You ever play Etrian Odyssey?
I did, but I can't remember them.
This is the one. So it was 3DS specific, where it was one of the best applications of the 3DS hardware, where if we all remember, we had the touch screen on the bottom and the regular screen on top, and it was a clamshell. I bet there's people out here who probably haven't even seen a 3DS. I betcha. And the thing of it was the top was the dungeon crawling screen where you walked around first person, and the bottom was where you drew a map in real time with the little stylus on the 3DS. Drawing that map is so strangely satisfying and so compelling. I don't know what it is about it, but just like draw a little door here and you put a little hallway here and here's a trap and here's a monster and just doodling on that little touchscreen was the shit, dude. So my wife and I loved it. She's played these already. She's been through all the Etrian Odyssey games, but she's like, it's been so long. I don't remember them. I would love to get back into them. And I'm just like, yes, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Deca Police was interesting. I'm kind of hoping that one's going to turn out to be good. Don't know a lot about it, but the trailer really got us. But the number one thing I am most excited for, and straight up, like real talk, honestly, I haven't been more excited for this than I am for Zelda or Professor Layton or anything else. The number one thing, Fantasy Life sequel.
Oh,
Dude.
right.
Oh,
it's an actual sequel. I was going to mention that.
God.
Yeah.
Did you play Fantasy Life?
I did, and I liked it a lot. And a friend of the
shit.
show, Lelena, I think showed it to me originally.
Oh,
yeah, I really, really like it. So I'm excited for that a lot.
Oh, I played the shit out of Fantasy Life. And for a brief moment in time, it was like the only game everybody on Twitter in my circle was playing. We were all playing it together. We teamed up online to do some quests. We were all like grinding through those jobs. And it's interesting because you wouldn't think that game would be so fun where you just have like 12, 15, 16 jobs and you grind experience on each one. But man, something about it was so compelling, dude. It was like the ultimate like numbers get bigger game. And he's just like could not put that fucker down. So
yeah, it felt like some sort of Earthbound quality to me. Mm-hmm. Not like it's like that type of game at all, but it's just like, you know, you're leveling up and there's a quirkiness to it. I don't know. I really do like it.
Oh my God. Fantasy Life. Oh, I want that so bad. Like I am ready for another Fantasy Life. That would be amazing. So
also a bunch of people are excited about that Metroid remake or whatever it is. Metroid Prime again. And I'm like, we both played it a million times ago, a long time ago. So
played it a million times, been through it. And the funny thing is I heard a lot of other people making kind of a joke about, oh yeah, everybody's going to get back into Metroid. And then the joke's going to be on them because Metroid Prime 2 and 3 take the worst parts of Metroid Prime 1 and double and triple down on them. And I'm like, yes, that is absolutely true. Those games got worse as they went on. Prime is really the only one worth playing. But I played it like twice. You probably played it at least twice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it again. Fuck it.
I'm not going to play it again. Before we leave demo chat, though, the Wolong, is that how you say it? Wolong?
Yeah.
Game that I'm very excited about, which is kind of like a Souls-like game as well, but a little more forgiving, I've heard. The demo is actually coming out on February 24th, which is only a couple weeks from now. It's coming to Game Pass, but if you play the demo on the 24th, the progress carries over.
Good.
I love that kind of stuff. Then I can
That's a good move.
Definitely check it out before then, see if I'm all in, and then your progress carries over. So there you go.
Yeah, I love that. That's whoever came up with that deserves a raise because that was a brilliant idea.
Yes.
What else you got?
Oh, by the way, Next Fest happened, or I don't know if it's still happening. I think it happened.
Oh God, I want it to be over, please.
There's so many games, and wait, why do you want it to be over?
Because I get 85 fucking kajillion emails in my inbox, and it's always like demo, and you know I don't swing PC heavily anyway. And like, I mean, real talk, I don't need to see the demos, right? Because demos change. It's like somebody telling me something's in early access, which I get a million emails about anyway. And it's like, I don't want to play these. I don't even want to check them out because just show me when it's done. Because it's going to be unfinished and the frame rate's not right. And, we didn't add this content. It's just like a waste of my time. Like, I just show me the good stuff. Don't show me unfinished work in progress. That's just me.
Let me agree and disagree. The disagree part is, me, I want to try everything. So the disagree part is like, I'm excited to see a bunch of new stuff. And also, if it carries over, right, then I'm excited. But the agree, which I'm going to actually rely heavily on right now, or focus on, is that I played a ton of these in the Next Fest demos, and I was very frustrated with 90% of them. Because one, I like controller, and most of them say half controller support, which means you're still using the mouse, and then like you can go and use your controller or whatever. But then lots of the times, almost every time actually, some of the buttons aren't mapped right. Yeah. So you're like, you can't even do certain things.
Yeah.
So I was so frustrated with so many of the demos. I don't ever say like negative stuff about Next Fest, but this time in particular, and then also just like with like, because they're demos, they're not optimized right. So my computer isn't the best. Right. So I was just eating shit on frame rate on some of them. So if it was a bad experience this time, I was like, oh, wait, is Brad right? That can't be right.
I could be right.
Brad couldn't be right in this. But yeah, I didn't want to play these games early this time. There's only one exception.
Okay.
Which is Shadow of Doubt, which a lot of people are talking about.
I don't
and
know
it's a voxel looking first person cyberpunk detective game.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot to say in one sentence. Yeah,
I said it, didn't I? But yeah, it's just like a fun mystery game where you have like a little pin board and you can like take that little red yarn and between different subjects and stuff, and it's just open worldy kind of like, so you can just, they say, hey, there's a thing that went on, a mystery, go figure it out, and they don't hold your hand at all. It's pretty darn neat. I like the open worldness of it, and it didn't like crash on me. So anyway, I just want to mention Next Fest happened.
Well, just to tag on to that, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and for me personally, I would much rather just have you guys show me a trailer, like a well-cut trailer that shows your vision when you think it's going to be done, just for the same reasons, right? When we get demos on console, they are basically almost done. Very rarely will we get a demo where it's like, oh, this is so far from being done. They just don't do that on console, right?
Right.
So the demos on PC they're able to be much rougher, earlier. It's already more inclined to the early access environment over there. So I would just rather not get any negative associations. I want to give people the full benefit of the doubt. I want to see something in its best light, and I feel like that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
With these kind of really, really early demos. So,
well, to that point, the other thing, a little box I had in the housekeeping was Pacific Drive. Just a trailer / some gameplay, but not the reviewer playing the gameplay. And it looks so fascinating. What it is you drive a station wagon that you upgrade, and it's a roguelike driving game with monsters and kind of like, dangers on the road that you have to avoid, or I don't think there's shooting. It's more like different kind of upgrades to your car. Mm-hmm. And then it's set in the Pacific Northwest, and it's kind of monstery and mystery, and then it's a roguelike.
I mean, it sounds fun.
Yeah, so you like go back to your garage and upgrade it and fix things that you got damaged, and then you go back out, and it just looks so fucking cool. And it's one of those things where, there's no demo, but someone recently got to go check it out, and the developers like played it for them,
Yeah.
And that video is up online right now. So Pacific Drive looks really good.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
That's most of my boxes. I have one other one. What do you have?
Just I want to touch quickly on the egg report, which I think I will be doing for a while. People seem pretty interested in chickens.
Yes.
So today's egg report, sad morning. We only got one egg, which sucks. But I will say that yesterday we got 8, which was a really good day. I think it's just not as sunny today. Sun makes a big difference, and it's pretty early in the day. We don't usually collect a lot until the afternoon, but a disappointing one. So 1 for the today's egg report. And just the only other thing I have today, just a heads up that some new stuff dropped for Vampire Survivors. Still playing that. I'm still playing that every now and again. I almost got through the samurai themed DLC, the samurai / Asian themed DLC with like the cherry blossoms and the kappa and all of the different Asian monsters. I'm almost done with that. There's a couple like really long, like kill 100,000 monster achievements I haven't done yet because that takes like an hour and I didn't have that much time. But they dropped a new update where you can get a new achievement, and then when you get the achievement, it unlocks a new stage, and then in the new stage are 2 new relics, and those relics give new powers to some of the secret characters that hopefully you have unlocked by now. So not major, but it just gives you another reason to go back and play once in a while. And I'm fine to go back once a week, once every 2 weeks, and just do like 1 or 2 runs, and I'm good. It's a fun game to come back to.
Yeah, it's a perfect game to come back to. It's like so pick up and play.
Exactly. Don't got to remember nothing about it. You just pick up and jump back in.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So heads up, Vampire Survivors, the new update just dropped. I think it was 2 days ago. So on console, on PC, it's ready to go. There you go.
Check it out.
And that's all I got. Anything else for you?
The last box is Forspoken. I just wanted to give it an actual numbered score.
Oh, okay. Well, let's set it up then. Let's do that right now. So we covered Forspoken in depth last week. You went into it and really went to bat hard for it. Got me excited for it, honestly. I really want to crack into that ASAP. So now you've had time to think about it. I'm sure you beat it already. You beat it last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah,
beat it last week. Did you go back for any post-game stuff? Did
I
you
sure did.
Around a little bit more?
Yeah,
okay,
I sure
tell us
did.
about that.
Well, like I think I alluded to last time, is that they do a really good job of, hey, this is the story. It's going to continue. We know that you beat the game. It's not that bullshit thing of like, go back to the beginning or load save before you beat the game. It's like, no, you beat the game, and here's the repercussions, and here's a bunch of new quests. It's cool. Like, it's super cool. So, I just went back in, almost like you just said, pick up and play with Vampire Survivors. It's always going to be on my desktop or my PlayStation desktop, area. And I'm just going to go back to it every once in a while because for me, it's really relaxing to just hold down the parkour button and go through this huge world and, unlock stuff and find new quests. So, yeah, I really like it. I just kind of keep going back to it. And there's some DLC coming in summer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Which is actually a prequel, which really has me interested because I know, one of the main reasons I like that game is actually the story versus what a lot of people said online.
Sure.
And I'm just really excited to see what they're going to talk about in that prequel. So,
okay, so it's fair to say that you have done your due diligence. You've played the shit out of the game. You really liked it. We talked about it in depth last week. You've had some time to think about it. We didn't make any rash decisions because we think about everything we say very carefully in the show.
Yep.
Or maybe we don't. But this week, you are prepared to drop an official going up on Metacritic this afternoon score because This is a scored podcast. When we do this, we are one of the very few podcasts, possibly the only podcast, whose coverage on this channel you're listening to qualifies for actual Metacritic scoring. So, Carlos Rodella, what is your official Metacritic score for this game we're talking about here? Tell us about it.
It's exciting. I'm excited to give the score because I really want to help this game because I really enjoy it. Oh, it's going to be a high score, yeah.
I know it.
But I will say this before I give the score is I think that the gameplay is super fun. I think there's a couple cons, which are the only thing that kind of like made the score go down a bit, which is the resistance and weakness kind of aspect of the game.
The elemental stuff you said you didn't care for too much.
Yeah, it just kind of was frustrating when I was already getting really like stronger and stronger and stronger, and that power curve is really good, I think. But then it would kind of get reduced a smidge when it comes to the weakness thing. Other than that, the only other con was the Ubisoftness of it all, with the fact that there's like a ton of things to do, and you don't really have to do them. It's like a million things to unlock, but you don't have to.
Gotcha.
That's not really even much of a negative. So I would say that the gameplay in general, super fun. All the different spells and the power curve getting stronger and stronger feels really good. And I think the story is very important and super helpful for people who have been depressed, you said it
had some heavy themes, and it did some good coverage of that, right?
I mean, it came at a perfect time for me. I actually recently told a friend about it, and, you could tell that it affected him just hearing about the story.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are feeling down and depressed and, just having issues. And so I think that got left behind when it came to the kind of clickbait articles that went up about
nobody got past
swearing.
That first cutscene or whatever, so nobody delved any deeper.
Yeah, but it was about a woman who went through life, had a lot of problems, and then at the same time, the whole game starts with her like not knowing if she wants to continue. She's standing on a bridge, and it's pretty rough. But the ending, minor spoiler, which is actually helpful for people that want to play the game, is all about this idea of redemption and trying and making a go at it and, against all odds. So this game is awesome, and I really like it, and it's an 8.5.
8.5. All right, excellent. I will mark that down. That is the official Video Games podcast score that's going to go up on Metacritic. I'll get the write-up this afternoon. 8.5, that is a very respectable score.
8.5, yeah. The only reason is just the sum of that, because the world is so huge and because those weakness resistancing kind of comes in, it just kind of slows down the progress of it all, right?
Gotcha,
Both of those things. Mm-hmm, because if those things weren't in the game, in my opinion, there's a sidebar, I probably would have been able to mainline the campaign quicker, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to do, and I really enjoyed the bosses, and I really enjoyed the story parts. So that kind of just stopped it from being like a 9 or 10 or something,
Gotcha.
So anyways, but yeah, it's
a
very
little
good.
more streamlining would have helped. But overall, sounds like a very excellent experience that you recommend, that you actually got me very excited about. I was only kind of like lukewarm on it. Although I did like the combat from the demo, but the rest of it kind of gave me pause. But after hearing you talk, I think I'm pretty sold. I'm going to try to get that in my PlayStation as soon as I can. So,
well, let me say one more thing, though, because you just mentioned it. And it's another important thing. The combat in the demo is bad because they give you too many options, and it's too confusing. The way you play the game is you get, these powers very slowly, and I think that's important to tell people. Once you do that, you start to figure out what you actually like to use. And even with the weaknesses and resistance, you most of the time can pick some of the things you just really like using a lot. So I like the melee, and there's a melee option at some point. So yeah, I would just say that like if you play the demo, the combat can be a lot more fun and specific to what you like playing.
Well, I think that's great advice because I actually thought the combat was great. I mean, it was a little bit confusing. They put you in the middle of something, but I could kind of see the bones of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. Although I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I kind of like the vibe. So that's great. It seems like if you get in at the start, you'll get a better acclimated to what's going on, and you'll like it, and you can customize and stuff, which is music to my ears. So this sounds like a win. Sounds like a win for sure.
Super cool.
All right, there it is. The official score for Forspoken, 8.5. All right, you ready to get on with the main content of the show here, my friend?
Yes, let's talk about some video games.
We've been talking about video games, but now we're going to talk about video games. Let's do it.
Oh, right. Yes, let's talk about more video games.
All right, Carlos, you're up first, sir. Fashion Police Squad. This is kind of a lighthearted skewing of first-person shooters where... I don't know what, like from what I can tell from the trailers, you're some kind of a fashion police officer and you're going around correcting people's fashion faux pas by shooting them with scarves and shoes and stuff, or like what? Tell us about this. Is that am I pretty on target
somewhat
here?
Like that? Yeah, okay. I call it Doom if it were about fashion.
Okay,
that's what it is. So it looks just like a kind of a Doom style game, pixelated graphics, but first person, more modern. It's not as old school looking. And I played the demo. I want to say going back to demos. On Steam, I think a while ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so then it came out for console, and we were able to get a code. So I was very excited because I did enjoy my time with it. And it's such a fun, smart kind of comedy game. And like I've said on this podcast a lot, it's hard to do that. Things that are just kind of light, funny, but also like it feels fun to play.
Right.
So you play as a police officer, and you have like. A whole squad that you talk to, like on the walkie-talkie or whatever it is, the intercom. What's the fucking thing? CB? I don't know.
I don't know. That little shoulder communicator.
The little thing you do as police,
whatever.
And so you're always like contacting base about, these kind of reports in the city. What's going on? There's bad fashion somewhere, and you've got to go take care of it. And how you do is you have a gun. You start with a gun. It's kind of like a shotgunny thing, and it shoots color at these businessmen who are in gray suits because gray is drab and not cool. So you get them colorful, and they're happy afterwards. And no one gets, I don't think so far, or anyone, even the whole game, gets killed. It's just that you're putting them back to how they should be. They shouldn't be drab.
Are they attacking you? Like what? Are they just walking?
Yeah,
around?
They definitely do attack. So in the very beginning, let me walk you through this. There's like businessmen in gray suits, and that's your first thing. And you have to, make them in color by shooting them, but they're shooting like suitcases at you. So like that's the enemy bullets, right?
And you can like die, right? Like this is
you can
like
die.
combat,
yeah,
right?
It's combat. It's still straight up combat. And then at some point you find people in like oversized suits. So their suits are way too
poorly
big.
fitting suits.
Poorly fitting. And so what you do is you shoot a different gun, and that gun is more like a machine gun, and that like fits them. So like they're in a better suit.
Of course.
Then it gets weird, and this is the only part that's kind of a con, is that
I love that you're like, it gets weird.
It does.
It started weird, man.
It's gonna get much weirder. So like one of this one guy has, this is kind of a statement too. One guy, one of the characters.
Is it a fashion statement?
Well, it's kind of a statement. There's like some guys who have like baggy pants and their butts are showing.
Ouch.
And that's a thing that happens in the real world.
Sure,
and
people sag. I get it.
And sometimes it's like it's drip, like it's kind of it's what people want to have their vibe be. Yes. But in this game, they're making a statement saying that's not cool. So I was like, whoa, it's getting political or something. So you shoot those. Oh, you don't shoot those people. You have a melee weapon, which is your belt, and you can whip them. And when you whip them twice, they pull their pants up and they're fine now. Which, again, I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, maybe there shouldn't be any whipping involved in that. Maybe just give them a belt or something.
Well, because you use the belt for other things, so it just happens to be the thing. And then here's the weirdest one. There's tourists that have socks with sandals.
Sure.
Which is terrible look. And you have to throw garden gnomes at them.
Garden gnomes? How does that work?
I don't know why. It's like, what's that game that I just played where you throw little... oh, come on. Where you throw little, High on Life, where you throw the little like monsters at people, and they run around with like AI and they just kill things. It's like that. Like the little garden gnomes just go and attack the tourists.
How does garden gnomes have anything to do with fashion? If anything, aren't they like really kitsch and corny and cheesy?
I don't know why they said that was the reason why we do it.
That feels like a breakdown in your theming there.
It's weird. Anyways, but and so this kind of continues in the only con of the game, because I didn't play it enough in the demo, is that you're constantly switching guns, is what I'm saying. Gotcha. Right? You're constantly switching because there's so many different enemies of different types that it got a little tiring, because I was like, I don't want to keep switching.
Is every mob like really mixed up? Like you'll get like one of each, and so you're constantly a switch. Okay.
In the beginning, right, it's just like one level's one,
right.
type of guy. And then and there's these women that are flying around with they're actually like garbage bags they're wearing. And I don't know why that was the thing. Anyways,
when you to be like haute couture, like on the runway or something.
I don't know. Well, speaking of runway, after you beat people or beat a level, it shows a lot of those NPCs and bad people, I guess, walking the runway, and they're like all fixed now.
Oh, gotcha.
And so, anyways, it's kind of interesting and weird. I think I like the demo more just because it was such a short experience.
Yeah.
Now that I've like been in it for a while, I can start to see some of the flaws. Still enjoying it, but one more con is that they do swinging levels with the belt.
Oh, okay.
Like Spider-Man. Yeah, and if you land wrong, you die instantly.
Cool. So, that's always a good time in any game. I
hate that in any game. And so I did this one level like 70 times or something nuts. I just kept like eating shit. So, man, I don't know. I'm ending up mixed on this game, where there's so much fun and weirdness that I just described, but then there's also kind of some weird choices.
How long have you put into this game? Do you have any rough idea of hours?
3.5 or something like that, maybe. I've done like 5 story missions, 5 campaigns or something I've probably beat. So it's all the same. I've fought bosses, right? They've been a little annoying because it's one of those things where they throw about, a million minions.
Sure.
And you can't attack them.
The most annoying way to have a boss battle, sure.
Yeah. By the way, those bosses that's bullshit. Like, fight me,
Yeah, exactly.
Fight me, bro. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it. I think I'm leaning still that I really like it because it's an interesting idea, and no one dies. That's a fun thing, right?
I guess technically non-violent, I suppose.
It is.
Ish.
Yeah, because everybody finishes and they're like, "Oh, thanks, dude." You finish the match and you're like, I look better now. I feel better. Sorry about that, bro." So there's a win there,
All right, I guess, sure. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like maybe a joke quickie game stretched out to a whole game. I mean, I'm probably not going to play this, so I'm going to follow your lead on this one. But the fact that they brought in the garden gnomes makes me feel like they ran out of content too soon, maybe. So I don't know.
I don't like the garden gnomes either. I don't know why that's the thing. But I will say that in general, I'm leaning towards that I like it. I do think I kind of want the experience to be over already. We always say have a shorter experience.
Yes.
Because there's a mystery and there's some interesting story stuff. But yeah, I just don't want like levels and levels and levels of like switching guns and stuff all the time. So I don't know. Right. I'm kind of torn. I think people should still check it out. It's definitely a demo.
All right. Well, there you go. Fashion Police Squad. I believe it's on every single platform. I know we reviewed it at Game Critics on PC. I believe it was Darren Foreman who reviewed that for us. And I think he had some of your same concerns. I think he came down on it a little bit harder than you did, but basically the same, if I recall correctly. Kind of a fun idea. Kind of falls down a little bit in execution. But you can read his full thoughts at GameCritics.com, in addition to Carlos's full thoughts here. So there you go. Fashion Police Squad.
Yeah, right. Maybe check it out. Check out the demo at least, I guess. Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a couple quickies here to talk about. The first one, man, I'm just going to spoil it. This is a very big disappointment for me because I was really, really excited for it. So you can't be excited. You can't be disappointed in something if you had no expectations, right? Like if it's a thing that shows up and either you like it, you're like, cool. And if you don't like it, you're like, whatever. But like the heartbreaking ones is where you see something, you're like, oh man, that looks like my jam. I'm so excited. You follow it for a little bit, you see some good signs and then you play it and you're like, oh wait, this is, yeah. So Roller Drama. This is the name of the game, Roller Drama. Looking at this pre-release, I thought this was 1000% my jam. You play the manager of a female roller derby team, And I'm like, yes, I absolutely want to do that. That looks amazing. And there's a lot of visual novel aspects. You are the house mom of, I think it's 5 women who are on a roller derby team. And the artwork in this game, for the hand-drawn visual novel sections, is fantastic. I love the style, love the energy. All the drawings are like really kinetic. You get a good sense of people's personalities through their, just the illustrations and stuff. It's really cool. So I'm like, okay, this looks great. I like the concept, visual novel, personality clash behind the scenes, and then you go do some roller derby. Fuck, I'm in. I'm so in, right? So it starts kind of bad, and it kind of just goes downhill from there. You begin the game, and they just don't really start well. Like, it's really an unconventional game, and they don't really explain like what you're supposed to be doing. So what happens is, I'm playing it on the Switch, and this game is 50% fine, 50% I can't even see it. An ant would need a magnifying glass to see what's going on here because it's so small. Like, you can tell it was designed for PC because you get the 2D cutaway ant farm view of the house where all the people live, and you can tell it would have been kind of small on a PC monitor where you're seeing the land, the whole house. Like, I think it's 3 or 4 stories. Everybody's got a room and people walking around the house. So you can see side view, like the XCOM base or whatever, you know. And that would have been kind of small on a monitor. On the Switch, it is microscopic. Some of that stuff going on is just so small. It is painfully small. But then it goes back to being okay. Like, when you get to the character portraits, it's great. Like, it looks fine. And the text in that section is fine. And so it goes back and forth between being like eye-meltingly small and totally fine, which is really awkward and strange. But what you have to end up doing is you spend a lot of time walking around the house trying to do these quests rather than just talking to people. It'll be like the very first quest is like, oh, I have a cat. My cat just died. And this is not a spoiler. I mean, it's literally the very first quest. You do this in the first 5 minutes. My cat just died, and should I stuff it or should I not stuff it? And then you stuff it. And then somebody else in the house is like, well, I want that cat. And number one, this is just a really weird way to start the game because I don't even know what's going on. I'm thinking about roller derby. I'm thinking about personality conflict. I'm thinking about managing a house full of athletes.
Yeah.
And you're starting off with like a zombie cat thing. And again, it's supposed to be funny, but like, it's just a really oddball way of starting. And so what you end up having to do is like, you watch the 2D cutaway view of the house for the person who stuffed the cat to leave the room. They leave the room, and then you sneak into their room, steal the cat, and then you go to the room of the person who wants it and give it to them. And that's how you, quote unquote, solve the quest. So it's weird. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's really, really strange, and they don't walk you into it very well. And it's hard to look at because it's really tiny on the Switch unless you're on the dock mode. It just was a really odd way of getting started. And some of the stuff that happens is just like, it just doesn't start you well. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be, how serious I'm supposed to be. I don't know what the ramifications of some of my choices are. And I just wish they walked you into it a little bit more of just like getting to know what this game is before you get into the thick of it, right? So that part was so 50-50. Like, I was like, I like the vibe, the artwork, the concept, but actually playing it, I don't think is really what I thought it was going to be. I was thinking of just more dialogue and more choices and stuff like that. Traditional visual novel stuff. And then you do a bunch of choices and do a bunch of quests if you can figure them out. And then you go to do the roller derby part. And this is the part that I think fell down the hardest for me, where they don't explain roller derby very well. And I'm not a fan of, I mean, I know what it is in real life, but like, I don't go to matches. Like, I don't know the rules of real life roller derby, right? I'm just like, I see women on skates and they're punching the shit out of each other, and that looks like awesome to me, right? Like, that looks fun.
That's also like huge here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
like
we have a lot of, yeah, we do.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the Rat City Roller Girls is our local team. And then we have a bunch of people from Oregon and stuff. And so, like, I'm not in that scene, but like, one of my friends has a daughter in it. And so we like watched one time, and, you know, it's cool. Like, it seems like something that I would like, but I don't know the rules. And when you get to the actual roller derby part, all of the cool artwork goes out the window. You go to these really generic looking, super low poly characters that are all just clones of each other. They're all just like red or yellow or something. It looks really
so weird. I'm looking at the pictures. Sorry to cut you off, but like they're chibi. Like they're like chibi versions of like these really great illustrations.
Yes, it's not even. I mean, they just lose all of the artwork. They lose all the vibe. You can't tell anybody apart. You don't know who's who.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, one person's gotta skate around, and then the other person have to block them. And like the controls don't make any sense. I'm like, what's even happening? Like, does my stick work? It doesn't work. I'm not sure what's going. Am I steering this person? I'm not sure if I'm steering. And stuff's happening on screen, and I don't exactly know what's happening. And they're like, this shoulder button for this move, and this shoulder button for this other move. And I'm like, dude, you've lost me. You've lost me so hard. I don't understand this. and I lost my first match, and I'm not even sure. I thought I was ahead, and I thought I was going to win, and that's you lose, and I'm like, why did I lose? I don't even know what happened, right? And to be perfectly frank, and I don't mean to be like armchair developer in the same vein of like armchair quarterback, right? But like, I feel like if they had stuck with the artwork, and if it was on the match, it would be so cool to be like, take the personality conflicts and the choices you made, bring that to the roller derby game, and instead of having this really crappy looking low poly garbage going around this circle, have it be more visual novel choices. Hey, me and Susan had a big fight. Am I gonna trust her to block for me when I'm going around the thing? Yes or no? Like do visual choices, like, and have it based on what you did. Have maybe relationship points, and you can't do a good team up if you didn't have enough relationship points from the choices before, or you have to lose this time because you got mad at Sandy or whatever, and she doesn't have your back, or like whatever, you know what I mean? But like visual novel, cool, like comic book style, like panels. Use the awesome artwork, which I think is this game's like biggest asset is the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like oh man, it's like right on the edge of being something really phenomenal and awesome. But I just feel like some basic choices got made that to me don't work. And I had a pretty miserable time with this, honestly. I was really, really disappointed because I was so excited, and it just does not come together for me.
Dude, to add to the armchair developer, you're 100% right. I feel like if it was just a sim, like a straight sim,
yes,
when you get to the match, you're just watching it, right? Like
that would be fine too.
Like
that would
football
be fine too.
sim or whatever,
yes,
all those ones.
Yes.
It's like just do the really good visual novel. I'm looking at the pictures of the 2D house thing. That looks a little weird too.
Yeah.
But like the novel stuff, the art looks amazing. Do that, the choices, and then when it gets to the match, just have it be a match, and you're not even controlling anything.
That would be fine too. That would be fine too. Yeah, there's a couple different ways they could have gone. I really dislike the way that they went. I think it just does not work. It doesn't make sense with the rest of the game. It feels really bifurcated in a way that just doesn't serve it. So that was just really disappointing. I was so ready to love this one, and I just really don't. I really don't.
All right.
So. That is Roller Drama. One more here for me, and I'll kick it back to you. Dance of Death, Lac Fey. This one came out of nowhere. Got a PR email about this, and we got sent a code, so thank you very much. This is a really weird, out of nowhere throwback, but in a good way. It's basically a story of a guy, and he is with his partner. The guy is Lac, and his partner is Fey. And at first, you don't know what's going on. Fey is a dog that can talk, and Lac is like a guy who seems to like be able to do magic or something. Like you're not quite sure what's going on. They throw you into like the middle of a situation, and you got to just kind of figure it out. But basically, you're in this like village in the snow. People are getting killed. You got to hurry up and get to the church. You get to the church, there's like this demon there, and then all of a sudden, the story starts rolling. But what this is it's an adventure game. It's a 3D adventure game, kind of a point and clicky sort of a thing.
Kind of point and clicky, but not. You don't point and click much, do you? Is it
no,
more
you
just
walk around. Yeah, you walk around.
Yeah.
It's like the point and click where you don't point and click. You just walk around and look at stuff.
Yeah.
You can switch back and forth between the dog and the guy. And really quickly, and this is not much of a spoiler, it turns out that you guys are people from the King Arthur legend, and you've been alive this whole time. So there's a story. I'm not going to get too far into it, but like you need to find somebody. You guys have been alive for like 1,000 years, and so you're like really old and experienced, and you know secrets of the world and how the world is really magical and stuff. And so you talk to people. There's choices, but it's all very simple and streamlined. Like this is not super in depth. It's not really complicated. Like you're kind of. It almost feels like you're watching a movie, and you're just making little choices along the way to keep the movie going. But in this particular case, I feel like it works. I feel like it's really entertaining. The voice actors are great. They're awesome.
Yeah, I was going to mention, do you know who they are?
I know the guy is the guy who was on Torchwood, which I loved. His name is Gareth something, I think.
He's also Solus from Dragon Age.
Oh, I didn't play Dragon Age.
Oh, Gareth David Lloyd?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's from Torchwood. I love that guy. Yeah.
He voiced Solus or whatever from Dragon Age, which was a big game for me.
Sure.
And then someone from Black Mirror, Alexandra Roach, and then someone from Ready Player One, Kavita Weeks.
All the people who voice this are like legit actors who are really good at doing voices. They're not just like big names. They are people who work with their voices. And every cutscene, and that's a big part of the appeal, right? Like listening to them talk is great, and listening to them go back and forth is great. Like that's if you're going to do a game, do it like this because this is entertaining, right? And they put a lot into the dialogue, the scripting, and the performances. So that part is wonderful. And even though it's like pretty light on the actual like gameplay, I don't really mind because it's entertaining to watch. It flows pretty quickly, and hearing these people talk is like really pleasant. And it's also like really magical, King Arthur-y, kind of semi-mystery sort of stuff. I just scratched the surface of it. I'm not super far into it, but so far I feel like this is really, really cool. And it's almost like finding, like you go through your closet and like you go through like this big box that you haven't opened in a while, and you're like, oh shit, look at this game from 15 years ago. I love this thing, you know, like it's kind of that same feeling of like, it feels outdated for sure. It feels like a relic, but like an awesome one, like the one that you're really excited to find, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a good time. And even though it's not cutting edge in terms of graphics or technology, it doesn't matter because the content is really enjoyable. I think it's really delightful so far. I'm really looking forward to putting more time into it. So far, I think this is a big thumbs up. If you like that kind of, you know, light gameplay, but it's more about the characters, it's more about the mood and story. Kind of reminds me a little bit of is it Broken Mirror? Is that series that ran for a long time?
Yes, yeah, that's
Broken
definitely
Mirror.
more like an adventure game. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
but with like a lot of emphasis on character and dialogue and stuff. If you like Broken Mirror, I think you probably would like this one very much. Any of those like 90s adventure games where they just were more about the back and forth, the romantic repartee, the kind of, you know, like dialogue performance. Good stuff. I think this is really cool if you are in the market for something like that.
It's Broken Age, and it was by Double Fine.
No, not Broken Age. No,
Oh.
the other one. The one before that. I'm pretty sure it's Broken Mirror, where it was like a long-running series, and it was a guy and a reporter lady, and it was an adventure game, and they went on a series of things.
I don't know that one then. I know Broken Age from Double Fine. That's an adventure game.
No,
too,
not Broken. Am I even?
It
Okay,
might be
maybe I
a
got it
different
wrong.
name.
I'm thinking. Okay, I'll find it.
Okay.
God, I thought it for anyway.
I'm glad you brought this show though, because as I'm looking it over, yeah, they won a bunch of awards as well. The
Yeah.
story was by a guy who wrote Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Knight, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean that kind of style of game, I feel like I should probably play more of, you know, which is like a really good story, and just kind of play through it.
Absolutely. So. God, it's gonna drive me crazy now that I can't figure out. Okay, you talk about your next game.
Okay.
I will try to figure out what that game is because it's a very well-known series from the 90s, and it's just it's escaping me right now. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I think I know what you mean too. Now that I'm seeing,
What is
I
that
think
game
it has the word
called?
broken in it, doesn't it?
I feel like Broken Sword.
Broken Sword?
Broken Sword. Let's try that. Broken Sword.
Live
PC
on the podcast.
game. Yes, Broken Sword. That's the thing.
That's
I'm thinking of.
right. And I think I did play it a long time ago.
Yes. If you like the Broken Sword
Yeah.
series, very much like this. This has a little bit less puzzly, which I think is actually okay for me. But that kind of vibe, you know, chatty, jokes, adventure-y, magic-y, pretty cool. I dig this.
Check it out.
Check it out. Broken Sword. Okay, cool. Now that I've thoroughly mangled our podcast with my
No,
fumbling
you did
and
not.
stumbling, let's get back to you, Carlos, for an FMV game. You know, you like FMV. I like FMV. I think that FMV is coming back in a big way, mostly thanks to what is the name of the publisher that is currently escaping me? It is
Wales
Carlos?
Interactive.
Wales Interactive. Thank you. I love Wales Interactive. They're great. 10 Dates. 10 Dates is here. The sequel to 5 Dates. And I'm guessing there's going to be the next game is probably going to be
100.
Well, I was going to say 15.
Oh yeah.
You know,
By the way,
5.
I didn't know that 5 Dates was this before this. I didn't know that was a. I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't see 5 Dates when it came out?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, that came out and we reviewed it. I think it was I want to say it was CJ that reviewed it. I'm pretty sure CJ Salcedo, and I'm pretty sure he liked it a lot, which is kind of what put this on my radar. I haven't tried 5 Dates. I bought it, and I haven't tried 10 Dates, but I will. So I guess you go on the dates for me, and then let me know how it turns out.
I did. I already went on the dates.
How did those dates go?
Well, I'll tell you right now. By the way, Wales Interactive, which we love. For me, I think it started with The Complex.
Yes,
I really
that's an
enjoyed
amazing
that
game.
one.
Yeah, I love that one.
I remember playing Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus for
Played
the
that one
show.
recently, yes.
I didn't like that as much. I thought the acting was just okay, and I had some of the problems with the acting. We played other FMV games that weren't Wales Interactive, but
There are, yeah.
I didn't play 5 Dates, but this is the first kind of date one I played. And man, I just got to say right off the bat, the production of 10 Dates is the best version of an interactive game.
Really? Like
Hands
really high
down.
quality stuff?
Hands down. It's like it's difficult to do FMV because, you know, not only just the choices, But what are you focusing on when it comes to the acting? What are you focusing on when it comes to the transitions? It can be jarring, right? Like the acting can like come across
feel really choppy,
weird, yeah. And even with Who Pressed Mute, like that at times felt weird because like the dialect or the way people were feeling didn't like transition to the next scene,
It's tough, yeah.
This one does it effortlessly, perfectly. Like I felt like the choices I was making, and I will get into those choices, and the ending and the outcome were it's almost like I was playing a regular video game that wasn't an FMV game and like a RPG or something. And I know how it was supposed to end because I did all the right things, and I leveled up the right way. And then and that's it. So it's like nothing, that's a hard way to explain it, but like it just felt effortless the whole way through. And the cutscenes and everything that they did with the graphics just felt like just beautiful. Chef's kiss.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it feels like in a genre where it is very easy to feel like you are watching clips that are awkwardly stitched together if it's done poorly, you feel like you were playing a regular game, playing through a regular story, and all the clips came together and made it feel like one continuous, smooth experience.
Yeah.
And that flowed with your choices, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, basically.
Exactly.
But let me explain why. So what the game is, and I think even with, I'm looking at some of the screenshots with 5 Dates, back to what I was saying with the production of it, 5 Dates seems like it's a lot of like webcam stuff where you're like looking into, your computer.
Yes.
This is all the dates are in an actual space, right? Like the actors are in a place. Okay. And the whole idea of the game slash, visual novel thing, FMV, is that you're going on speed dates. Okay. So you are with your friend and you can pick the guy or the girl. So I picked the guy.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so you both are talking, you're best friends, and she like dupes you into going on speed dating with her. Like you thought you were just going to meet up with her, have a drink, and she's like, "No, you're going to go on the dates too. You're stuck."
Interesting. Okay.
So again, at that point, you're either the guy or the girl. And back to the production side of things, there's like a host, and the host keeps saying like, you have a few minutes left for each date, and he's like looking in both directions. So there's like 2 different rooms. So whoever you picked, the guy's looking at the guy or the girl.
Gotcha.
Again, just expertly done. And then, so the guy, as I'm the guy, you're making choices when you meet each girl at the table. You're learning about them. You have basic timed, choices thing. And then at any point, just like any of these games, you can check how you're doing with each date, right? How their progress and stuff like that. And then, you're actually, if you're the guy or the girl, there's obviously differences. But what's interesting is that at some point, and again, I don't know, it flowed together perfectly for me, so I don't know if everybody gets this. But at some point, one of the dates that I was supposed to be on with the girl, she was gone. And so the host came over and sat down, and he's a guy. And so you can see that you could have like went on a date with him.
Interesting.
Because
okay.
he starts propositioning you about things and stuff. And so depending on where you go there, and I think there's an option where, because you mentioned your best friend who's a girl, I think there's an option where you could have probably just been with her. It just feels like that could have been an option too.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
But anyway, so I went on the dates kind of as me, even though it's an avatar. It doesn't look like me, whatever. Sure. But I picked choices that were kind of like tied to what I would think. And it was very interesting because, like I told you in text, like I'm just going back out there now, like in the real world and I would like to meet somebody, et cetera. So I was getting to go on these speed dates and, kind of test the waters in that way. And it was interesting, and just to like meet different people, and each person, each woman, for me, in my case, had like, things that were not awesome, right? Like one girl had a pentagram on her as a tattoo on her chest. And I was like, can I get past that? Maybe, like, I don't know. Long story short, I will spoil the fact that I fell in love with this footballer named Tony.
And is this a soccer player or an actual football player?
Like a soccer player.
Soccer player.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And she was so awesome and so down to earth and fun. And then when you, again, all these cutscenes that happen. So like after you have a date, you go back and talk with your friend, and they do these great little cutscenes of like, you're at the bar, and it's hard to explain, but the cutscenes are great in between. And sometimes it looks like a phone, but most of the time it's like in person. I think that really helps. Like it's like, people at a bar. And anyways, the long story short is I asked for a second date with that girl, and you go like onto your profile, like your dating app profile.
Yeah.
So it couldn't feel more real. And I liked some of her pictures, and then I asked her for a second date, and she said yes. Then we went on a third date.
Ooh,
and then
serious.
Yes, and the spoiler is I reached in for a kiss. By the way, she's a footballer, and she hurt her ankle, so she was in like a boot a lot of the dates.
Oh, like a support,
support boot. And anyways, I reached over for a kiss, and I put my hand on her boot, and it hurt her leg.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a faux pas there.
Nice.
/the avatar. Anyways, it ended up perfectly, and then it didn't do like a cut scene, but it did like just text, and it said like, you ended up with Tony. You go and like support her at every match, blah, blah. And then there's a picture of me and her like at a football game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fun.
It was, and again, it's hard to explain. And if they did it because I don't know how they programmed it, but like every choice that I made seemed to make sense. We've played these games a lot, and sometimes you're like, well, I didn't really want that.
Right. Or that's not what I meant.
That's not what I meant. The only thing I didn't meant is I picked nerdy. Like she's like, what do you like? And I'm like, I was nerdy in high school. But then he was like, I had a pocket protector and I was very smart. And I was like, oh, that wasn't me.
That's
Yeah.
Nerd is a pretty wide definition.
Right. So they only fucked up that one thing, but everything else it was so right on. Like I know I'm spending a long time on this, but because it's in my opinion my favorite FMV. Because
really?
Yeah, easily. Because
wow,
all the different dates I went on, when I like kind of didn't like what they liked, or I didn't like something, when I was going back and telling my friend about the dates, all the things he said was exactly how I felt.
Really?
Yeah, It's so weird. It's like, yeah, I kind of like some of the stuff about the studious girl, and I like a nerd myself, but I didn't like that she was reading her book all the time and blah, blah, blah. And he said that to my friend, and I was like, yeah, that's what I meant. It's like, I can't believe they pulled it off. So, you know me, I like things as canon. I will never play this game again, unfortunately. I love you, Wales Interactive, but I play games once. So that was my story, but I highly recommend anybody who's ever wanted to play FMV, check this out.
So it's good to hear that because I remember in CJ's review of 5 Dates, that was kind of one of the things he mentioned was going on the dates was fine, and he liked the game. He gave it a good review, but he said that chatting with his virtual friend after a date was one of the high points for him because it really captured how he felt about the date, and like, talk like debriefing with somebody afterwards was one of the best things that game did, and it sounds like they've got that unlocked. It seems you're kind of echoing that same sentiment there.
Yeah, it's so smart. I know they're doing it based on numbers, right? Because if you look at the like how you did with the date and like, what's it called? Like story options you open and stuff like that. Yeah. They can do that, which is smart, but it just feels really natural. Like, and the interface is great. And again, it's shot like on location, which is helpful. And I like the fact that they like offered up a guy and guy choice. I'm hoping they probably did that with the women as well,
Yeah.
And it just felt like it was so open-ended to what I could do. I could probably even date my, best friend or whatever. And then I found someone that I actually liked too. And that was like, oh man, I got to go out in the real world and do speed dating, I think. Because I had a good time with it. It was weird.
Interesting. I would be very curious. I know that you like the canon playthrough, and I'm basically the same way. But I mean, this seems like if you like to go through something again, I mean, it seems like there's obviously lots of choices. Maybe several different people of one gender, several different people of another.
Yeah.
You can switch who you are. I mean, I would be curious to see how far into it leans into the lesbian or gay options. Maybe I haven't done like no research on this game at all. Just what you're telling me here, but it would be interesting to see how far they went with this. And this seems like. I mean, everything you're saying sounds great, and I love FMV games, and I love Wales Interactive, and I definitely think I'm going to play this one.
And it was just, like I said, a perfect time for me because I'm like, yeah, I want to go get back out there, and this is like, I could virtually do it, for a little bit. I can't recommend this enough, and also I will send you a wedding invite to Tony and I's upcoming wedding. We're not rushing it, but, we're talking about it.
Well, how are you going to break the news to Pan Am?
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, there might be an option for us. I can talk to her about it. I don't know. She's pretty open.
Might
we'll
be
see.
swinging a poly thing here. We'll see.
We might. Yeah, Pan Am and Tony.
Carlos might have his cake and eat it too.
Well, they might have their cake and eat it too.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, it sounds like 10 Dates is a winner. You would say it's a winner, yes?
Yeah, I almost want to score it just because it's so fucking good, man. It's
you can. Go ahead. Go for it. I don't care.
It's a 9. It's a 9 in
really?
interactive.
Wow. Okay.
It gets nothing wrong.
That is
good. 9 is a high score. Let's give it an 8. Sorry.
8?
I was speaking from my passion for Tony.
I can hear the PR person frowning in real time right now. Like, oh.
It almost was. Well, because it can't be. I had to be realistic. That's why I don't normally score in the same episode. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, that's fine. No, that makes
I am
sense.
going to say 8, though, because it is a perfect FMV. Like, it doesn't do anything wrong. I just can't go 9s and 10s because that's like Elden Ring territory. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's these epic games for me. So
I think 8 is perfectly respectable, dude. That's really
perfect FMV.
All right, there we go. We will shoot that one over to Metacritic as well.
Yeah,
Carlos is on a roll. He's scoring games left and right, folks.
Let's keep going.
Let's get one more. Throw another one on there. Let's
is it you or me now?
It's me. It's my turn. I'm going to talk about a very interesting game called 7 Days to End with You. This is on the Switch. I believe it's also on PC, I believe. Don't quote me on that, though.
I'll look it up.
Really interesting approach. This is a game from Japan that just got translated. I don't know about localized, but I feel like it got translated. And this is a really strange one. It is kind of I'm not even sure what kind of genre this is, like the deduction genre, I guess, where you have to just figure things out based on clues. And there are a couple of the games in the genre where like the main point of the game is figuring out words or language or trying to put things into like a logical sense if you don't know that language. So basically you start the game, you wake up. It is a first-person visual novel, and you wake up and there's a woman above you, and she's speaking a language that you don't know, and the text shows up on the screen, and it's like weird symbols, like square and squiggly line and circle and whatever. Like you have no idea what she's saying, right? And you're like, oh gosh, who am I? Where am I? What's going on? How come I don't know the language? What's happening here? And so she, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then she like leaves, and so you're exploring this house that you're in. You cannot leave the house, but you're in your room and it looks basically normal. There's like a desk and books and stuff, stuff that you would see in a room. You can leave the room, go downstairs. There's like, just regular nicely looking wooden house. The lady's in the kitchen. She's chilling in the kitchen at the table, and you can talk to her if you want. And she's just like, blah, 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 blah. And you can't understand what she's saying. You can click on things throughout the house, and you can get feedback on those things. So, for example, you can click on a book. Like you and I would look at this, and we obviously know it's a book. It's a book because it's a bookshelf. It's got pages. We know it's a book. You click on it, and like 3 quote-unquote words will come up, but they're all symbols, right? And so you're looking at this like, okay, well, I clicked on a book, and I see these symbols pop up. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to keep that in my memory. And then I will click on the rug. And then you click on the rug, and then 3 other word-like things come up, and you're like, okay, are any of these the same or are any of these different?
Oh, okay.
So you're trying to figure out by process of elimination and by process of comparison, what do these words mean? And there's a pretty cool interface for it, actually. I do like the interface where you can go into this menu at any time. There's a list of words that are in the foreign language, and below that you can click in text, and this is on the Switch, so it's pretty easy to put in text. And you can just say, well, I think this word means this, and you type it in English. And then every time that word comes up again in the game, it'll have your English subtitle below it. So I'm not saying that that's correct, but I am saying if you think that's what it means, you plug it into the game will spit it back to you. And that's a pretty good way of figuring out, am I on the right track? Did I understand what this meant? Did I pick the right word?
Wait, but it won't tell you if you're right?
No, it does not.
Interesting.
There's never any right. So there's that. That's what the most of the game is. Every once in a while, you'll get a dream. So 7 days. The game is only 7 days long. I didn't finish it, by the way. Full disclosure. At the end of each day, you go to bed and you have a dream. And in this dream, that is the closest you ever get to definitively knowing what a word means, because they'll show you a picture of something, and they'll be like, "How did this picture make you feel?" And they give you like, I don't know, 6 choices or something. If you click on one and it's the right one, it'll go, "Yeah, that feels right." And that's the one thing you get. If you click on the wrong one, it'll go, "Nah, that don't feel right." But then you don't get to change it, and they don't tell you what it is. So if you guess it, they'll confirm it, but they will not tell you if you get it wrong. And that's all. You don't get any other words. Like for the entire rest of the time you're playing, it's just about plugging things into the matrix, clicking on things more, having the game spit the word back to you, and then you in your brain saying, does this make sense or does it not? So it's really, really interesting, but I had a couple problems. Number one, it's difficult. It's really difficult. I struggled, and I think a big problem that I didn't think of this on my own, but another reviewer, after I got done with the game, I read some other reviews to see what other people said. One very astute person said, we think that the problem, or a problem with this game, is that this is a Japanese game at heart, and so some of the concepts that work in Japanese don't necessarily translate over to English. And I'll tell you, for example, so like when I click on a book, in my English brain, I would want to see one word that says book, right? But when you click on a book, it's like 3 words, and I'm like, well, what? Okay, so are you telling me big red book? Are you saying book read big? Are you saying big, like what order are we going in, and what words are you even saying to me? Are you saying fascinating adult novel? Are you saying like what? Like I don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so this kind of made me think of like when I have 2 dogs. And when I train my dogs, I do a lot of dog training when I'm in the mood. And when you talk to a dog, you can't give it a whole sentence. You got to say one word. So one thing I'm working with my white dog Paisley, I'm like, I want her to beg. She kind of does it automatically. She learned it kind of on her own, and I wanted to support that she does this cute little begging thing. So you don't say, Paisley, I love it when you beg. It's so cute. Please keep begging and stand up on your hind legs and do this whole thing, because the dog just hears blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You have to say beg. And then the dog keys in on beg, and then they get it because their doggy brain can learn one word at a time. So I felt like the dog in this situation where someone's like, blah, 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 by giving me 3 words at a time, and I don't know which one is the key one, and I don't know which one the one I'm supposed to look for is. And there's so many options, I don't even know how they're describing things to me. So like I felt like it should have been broken down more simple. At the very least, there should have been more items where there's only one word for that item. So for example, I looked at the rug. There's a rug in the hallway, and I'm like, okay, this is a rug, but is it a rug? Is it a carpet? Is it a throw rug? Is it a wool rug? Is it a red rug? Like, how are you describing it? Are you even saying rug? Am I not even right on a rug? Is it a mat? Mm-hmm. Is it a pad? Like, what are we doing? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with green wool rug, because that's what it looks like to me. Plug that in, and I go to talk to the lady. She's just like, blah, 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 blah. I don't get it. Nothing matches. I go to click on like a plant, and then all of a sudden like wool rug comes up, and I'm like, what? Fuck. Okay, so that was totally not right. What does this potted plant have in common with this rug? I mean, maybe green, but green is not where I think it would be. And I just like it was really, really difficult for me to put anything together. Yeah. And I think that's part of the gameplay. And also, from what I gather, you finish the game based on whatever you do. And if you figure it out, great. If you don't figure it out, great. The game ends after 7 days. And whatever experience you had, you take from it. That's what you get. So
I like the concept a lot, okay, because it is different. And remember that game we played that actually took real time in days or year or whatever it was?
Longing? Was it the
Longing?
Longing?
Yeah, something like that. I think that's it. It's that thing where you go, wait, that's the game?
It's so weird, yeah.
I love that. But if I'm looking at all the reviews, they're echoing what you're saying, which is, the translation choices from Japanese. Because, when you're able to speak Japanese, this might just be a easier game for you to play, because it seems like the syntax they're saying and the habits and speech patterns match up better. So it might just be if you're Japanese or understand Japanese, it's easier for you to play this game.
I would guess so. I would guess so, because this didn't make sense to my English brain. Yeah,
right, your English brain. So it's almost like hard to review it in that setting. But if they're trying to get everybody to play it, then yeah, they could have made some changes. But it's such a cool concept, though.
Yeah, it's really cool. I just wish they'd have at least a few more gimmies or something. Just you got to give me like some easy ones so that I know what to work from.
Yep.
They just don't give anything to you, and I get that's part of it. Like they want it to be mysterious, and I guess if you don't figure it out, you don't figure it out, and that's the experience you had, and that's cool. But I just found it was really difficult. I found it really frustrating, and every time I thought I made progress, it turns out I didn't make progress, and so I didn't stick with it. So anyway, 7 days to end with you. Really fascinating. Maybe not satisfying to me, but maybe other folks would love to really, wrap their brains around this one and see if they can puzzle it apart. But anyway, there you go. That is that one. Carlos, back to you for something I know nothing about. Ringlorn Saga. Is
That's
that right?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
From a developer named Grave Robber Foundation.
Wow, that's pretty hard. That name goes real hard. Wow.
It does go hard. I just looked at their Steam page, and they have a bunch of indie games they worked on, actually. A bunch of little ones.
Okay.
So, yeah, I found this because of a reviewer, I think on YouTube. I might have seen the picture on, in the PlayStation. I think I'm playing PlayStation. Yeah. Homepage or something of new games. Then I went to YouTube and I kind of asked somebody what it's about. And apologies for the YouTuber. I forgot who it was, but they were basically saying like, this is an old school, like Nintendo type game. That's an RPG, like, Final Fantasy, etc. Or even simpler, kind of like early Ultima, which I love. And it was kind of a throwback to a game where they don't really tell you much and you just kind of go do stuff. And for some reason, I'm kind of in that mode. Old school RPG, just don't tell me much. Just want to go in and I'm always chasing the Elden Ring experience, which is let me just go and do stuff, But anyways, it's old school graphics. Nintendo, it looks like Final Fantasy. And it uses the mechanic of Ultima and I guess maybe other RPGs where you just bump into things.
Ease. Oh, the bumping combat? Ease.
Yeah,
yes,
ease did it. Yeah. And normally I wouldn't love that, but, I play a lot of involved RPGs, and one that I'll talk about on the show, and there's very many buttons, So it's nice to just kind of like every once in a while go back to old school. So it's a short game. I haven't beat it, but I guess, in quotes, far. But it is a short game. It's one story, which is you're going to go find your father and a bunch of other warriors that took off into this town, protected by some barrier, and you're just going to find out what happened to them. There's a huge tower. Spoiler, they're probably in the tower.
Sure. What perspective is this game? I think I missed it.
It's just 2D Final Fantasy. Like,
okay,
look
gotcha.
down, it looks like Final Fantasy.
This is like sprite graphics or
graphics? Pixel graphics.
Gotcha.
And they do this really cool thing, which you can turn off, but I kept it on. The CRT monitor, effect.
I hate that. Yeah, I turned it off.
Well, here's the reason why I loved it, especially for this. So it was like Saturday morning. I wanted to play something simple, RPG, go back in time to Nintendo. And that's what this did for me, I turned my TV on, put it on the CRT mode, and, I could read everything. It wasn't like, the text was too small or something. And it just felt like I was playing an old, like, Zelda game where even with Zelda, the original Zelda, I didn't know what to do, It's just kind of like, you're like, oh, I got a sword now, I guess. And I think that's what they do pretty well. It's like, I'll give you a perfect example. So, the basic story is you're going to figure out what happened to your dad. But it's overworld, run around, go into towns, talk to people, again, bump up against them to talk to them, and then fight monsters in the overworld. They're all, spawning all the time, right? So there's not random encounters. You just see them and then you can attack them. And then you go into dungeons and level up, and that's it. There's two interesting mechanics. One, there's bats and slimes and different kind of monsters around. And you have different ways to attack. So you choose if you want to do a slash, a bash, or a stab, I think. And you're choosing
that. And a crash. That'd be better.
And a crash.
A slash, a bash, and a crash.
Yeah. And you're choosing those. And then whenever one you have set, when you bump up against a person, that's the one it's going to do, right?
Okay.
So certain enemies respond better. You can damage more.
Sure. Different weaknesses and stuff.
Yeah. But I found on my own, because they don't tell you anything about anything, which is great in this game. I just found on my own that if I attacked from behind, I just did more damage, right?
Sure.
Or even from the side. So I started attacking from the side, and it did more damage. And so I kind of felt good on my own that I found out that if I bash the crabs, they take more damage. And if I stab the slimes, it takes more damage. And if I do that from behind, it takes even more damage.
Gotcha.
And then if I don't let them head on touch me, I might not get hit. But if I do, I don't know. I might get hit really hard. So there was that strategy that I liked. But this is the best part, and this is the selling point of the game. Because they don't tell you anything, it's like just going to people and talking to them. But it's that old school talk to them a bunch of times thing.
Oh, yeah. You got to exhaust the dialogue.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any exhaust, though, because I've done it a lot to a lot of different people.
Well, they just talk for infinity or what?
Yeah, there's a lot of stories. Yeah.
Just filling in the dialogue for you or something?
There's a ton. I feel like I talked to a lot of people. So here's what happens. At some point, you see something on the overworld. It's a thing you have to dig up with a shovel. So I went to the store, the only store, and I go, hey, do you have a shovel? And he's like, by the way, some of these people are pretty combative. He's like, no, fuck off. Like, I don't think he said fuck off, but he basically did. He's like, no, I don't have a shovel. Do you see a shovel? There's no shovel. Is there a shovel in my store? No. So I was like, damn, you're an asshole. So I leave and I go back to the bar just randomly, and there's a bard and he's telling stories. They're singing stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to one, it's nothing. I decide to listen to him again and hear another story. And there's a story about a girl who falls in love with a guy who is a gravekeeper or like a cemetery guy. And he owns a shovel, and then the story's about the woman that dies or something. Mm-hmm. And it's a sad story, but it said where he lived in the story.
So the story was your clue. Like if you would listen to the song, you would know where to go get the shovel.
Yeah. So now I was like, okay, I have to go to the west and find the guy who has a shovel. Who's the grave guy. So I just liked that kind of thing. It was kind of fun to be like, oh, I just deducted it on my own. But that's it. I mean, it's just a fun, simple game. I kind of dig it. Like in this world of like tons of buttons and tons of complicated, mechanics, sometimes it's nice to go back to this kind of thing.
Yeah, right on. I mean, that kind of like summarizes one of the reasons why I like Vampire Survivor so much. You literally use just the left stick. So
right, yeah.
Sometimes
I think
the game can be fun without using every button on the controller.
There's some shared DNA there.
Yeah.
It's not like frenetic action pack like that. It's more of a strategy kind of thing.
Sure.
But I just like its simplicity. So
just simmering it down to the core experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's also like $8.
Oh, that's a good deal. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and then it was on sale. I think again, PlayStation having sales or something. So I was like, oh, can you afford $5 or something? Yeah. Just barely. Anyways, yeah, I think it's a winner for me. I think people should check it out.
Right on. And that is Ringlorn Saga. You're playing on PC, I assume?
No, on PlayStation.
PlayStation. Okay, even better.
It's also on Steam as well for $8 right now.
Excellent. All right, check that out. That sounds like a check it out, right?
Check it out.
All right, good. Let me talk for a minute here about Nadir, which you and I both played the PC demo for a while ago. This is the really dark, like heavy metal, rock and roll cover album art style, skulls and blood and devils. It looks really cool. Like it's really, the artwork goes hard, which I think works for it. And it's a deck builder where you play a person who is in hell, and you were descending into the circles of hell. You remember we played this one a while ago?
I do. I forgot that I didn't know you were going to bring it back. It's a roguelike deck builder, but I didn't like the 3D space.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I remember about this game.
Yeah. We had some issues with some of the demo. I think some of that stuff was placeholder. I played a quote-unquote finished version. It just came out of early access. By the time we're recording, I want to say maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. It released on Switch as well. And it also has like the similar finished, but also as soon as you boot up the game, it says, "Oh, this game is a work in progress, and we may be changing things." And I'm like, "Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that on the Switch. That's not what I want to hear." So they say it's finished, but they also do the whole finished, but maybe sort of thing, which does not inspire me with confidence. Anyway, I was really keen on this one because I love the artwork. I think it looks just fucking badass. Every screenshot is just like, you can hear the heavy metal guitar in the background, just like killer riff, right? Like, so it looks really cool. I love deck builders. I love roguelikes. We all know this. So I'm playing this quote unquote more finished version, and I think it's definitely better than the demo that we played for sure. Some of the instructions are more clear. Some of the assets are a little bit better. Some of the presentation, it doesn't look as cheapy 3D as it did. They changed that up a little bit, which was nice. But I still have some problems with it. So basically, for those who didn't hear us talk about the demo, the first person you start with is Joan of Arc, who is dead, and she's in hell. And her buddy is Sigmund Freud, who is also dead. And he is like a skull that floats around and kind of gives you advice. All this is 2D hand-drawn artwork. So there's not a ton of animation. It almost, in a way, kind of sort of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon a little bit, how there's not animation, but they go back and forth between frames in a certain way, so it like looks like animation. Darkest Dungeon does it better. It looks like more impactful. Here it just looks like it's kind of unfinished, which is kind of a bummer. But basically, it's a deck builder, and the thing that's really cool about this is every card has a top and a bottom. So there's a pretty intricate system. I'm going to try not to get lost in the weeds, but like basically, enemies have cards that have either a top or a bottom, but your cards have a top and a bottom. I know that maybe sounds confusing, but basically you can only play your top or your bottom if it matches up with how many tops or bottoms the enemy is showing. It's a long way of saying basically you can't play any card you want at any time. You have to be strategic, and if you want to play a good card, You have to manipulate the enemy into playing their cards so that when they have played their hand matches your hand, and then you can play your card that you want to play. That's super confusing. I get it. It's really confusing. It's not as confusing as that once you start playing it, but it is still a very complicated system that requires a lot of extra thinking that you don't normally find in a deck builder. So,
yeah.
Did any of that I say make fucking sense at all? I know that was like...
It does, but I remember playing it, and it's like impossible to really explain it. You have to just play it. I mean,
it's tough to... The
concept is, if you've played other deck builders before, you can like plan in advance of like what you're going to do. And in this one, it just feels like, I guess I can do this with this card, Yeah.
It's
more of a...
It requires a little bit more forethought than the normal deck builder, and it's really complicated. I think that I like what it's doing. I like the concept, but I think my main problem with Nadir is that it just feels unfinished overall. It feels like the assets are not as polished as they should be. I feel like the UI is not as good as it should be. For example, when I'm going into the deck building interface, when you move the cursor, the screen like jerks around, and that makes your eye lose where you're looking. And so I'm like, oh, I'm on this other. I'm going to look at this card. I'm going to see if I can upgrade it, and I move the cursor, and then the screen jerks, and I'm like, whoa, I lost it. Where'd it go? It's over here. Okay, so that's like a little thing that can be fixed. When you're in the battle, because this system is so complicated, it needs to have a better system of highlighting what's going on. I mean, I don't know how you'd even do this, right? Like, I'd have to be like on the development team and work on this for like 6 months, but like what they've come up with is okay, but I feel like it's better than it was, but it still doesn't quite feel intuitive. At no point was I wasn't ever flowing through it like naturally, and just it didn't really come easily, so that was kind of difficult as well. And I think like as you're going through the levels, every time you win a battle, you go down a level in a circle of hell, which is cool. It just feels like really limited. There's shops, and there's upgrade stuff, and there's other little stops you can make like that are very common to the deck building routine. But like, it seems like they tell you can do those whenever you want, but you can't. You have to do them after a battle. But then sometimes I don't want to do it after a battle. Sometimes I want to be strategic and go to the shop first, and they couldn't do that for some reason. So there's all these little weird rough edges to it that just don't feel great. Like, I love the artwork, I love the concept, I love how like dark and black it is, and hell and demons and all this stuff is very cool. I like the vibe, but it just needs a lot more UI work, a lot of UX work. It just needs some polish. It feels very lacking in the polish department. It feels like it needs 6 more months in the oven, where all they're going to do is add animation, add proper highlighting and signposting. Like, for example, like when you win a battle, nothing happens. You win the battle, it goes black, and you're back to the main screen. You don't even get like a "you win." The first time I won a battle, I'm like, "What? What happened? Did I lose? Did I win? What's going on?" And like that. It's a very simple thing, but it makes the game feel so much better and more fun to play. Like, little victory screen. You see your enemy go down. You feel good about it. It just really quickly gets into the weeds of like, you don't know why you're doing a lot of this stuff. You don't know what the upgrades are for. It just needs more polish. I love the core of it. I think there's a really good thing here. It just needs more polish, and it's just not there. It's a really rough play.
All right. Yeah, I love the dark outline graphics or artwork. It's awesome. I think I felt that same way when I played the demo. Was it the demo or early access, whatever you played?
Yeah, it was the demo. Yeah,
it just felt like I was going to the next screen, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
And most people, need that dopamine hit of something to like.
Yes, exactly.
Continue on. And I was like, I don't know if I'm doing well, but anyways, still very interesting. I do like the style a lot and the concepts.
Yeah, it's better than it was when we played it before, but it's not where it needs to be. And I really hope that they keep working on it, because I think there's really something cool here. It's just not polished enough yet. So,
all right.
Anyway, one more game to talk about.
Well, before we do that, real quick, a tangent off that. I feel like, and I know you're going to say no right away, but I think
Carlos, no.
I think at some point it'd be really cool, after years and years of talking about games, if you worked on some sort of game. Because of all the different things you don't like, right? I don't know. It'd be really interesting.
Nah. If someone wants to hire me as a consultant,
creative, maybe a creative director or something.
Creative director, yes.
Well, that's all I'm saying.
I would do that. Like, I guarantee you, if you hired me to look at your game and you took my honest feedback, your game would be a better game, because I know what's wrong with that. It's just fact, dude. It's just fact. You play games for 40 fucking years. You write about them for 40 fucking years. I've probably played 10,000 games, if not more than that, dude. And it's like,
okay,
you just know after a while.
Here's how we can do it, because it might. I mean, you could also be a creative consultant, whatever. Generally,
Sure.
if you're creative side on a game, you have to have experience of doing it for a gazillion years. I know that, but I make video games. I've only made 3, and I can make them very quickly, though. They're the short indie games. I could make something and then give it to you and go, Brad, how do I fix this? How do I make it good?
I can easily do that for you. But
oh, my goodness, let's do it.
The problem with that is that this is what happens. I've done this. I have not done this professionally, never. But I have talked to developers. You're in the game for a while. People talk to you. They want your feedback. I've done mock reviews. I've done pre-release consulting. I've talked to people about this. And this is what happens every single time. Someone shows you a game. You give them your honest feedback. Hey, this is cool, but this isn't this. The number one thing they immediately say is, well, we didn't have the budget for that, so we're not going to fix it.
Right.
Okay, well, it's still wrong. Well, we didn't have the time for that. We had to prioritize. Okay, but it's still a problem. Well, okay, we did, like it's inevitably people who already know it's a problem but are not going to fix it because of time or constraints or manpower or whatever, person power. And then the game ships, right? So they're like, we had to make a choice. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still going to ding you for this because I don't like it as a player. And I get that we all have realities to deal with. We all have a budget. We all have time. There's only so many people in the studio. I get it. But, I mean, it's frustrating to give somebody that feedback. They don't act on it. And then, I mean, it just doesn't get better, right? It happens all the time.
Well, we got you covered here because I'm going to make an indie game in Construct. There's going to be no budget, okay?
And no budget and a team of 1.
Yeah, and the only budget constraint or the thing that I would go back on if you said something like, this is all wrong or whatever, it's just time, right?
Right.
That's the only the constraint. So let's do it as a test. I think it'd be really fun because I've been wanting to make a game again.
Sure.
And it is, I do make them pretty quickly. So anyways, that's a tangent. We're going to do it. And let's talk about the last game.
Yes, the last game. And by the way, I'm dead serious. If anybody out there wants to hire me for a consultant, I guarantee we'll make your game better. You just have to do what I say and it'll be better. So
nice. And they still might. Yeah.
They might. Who knows? I'm for hire. I can definitely do some freelance shit. Okay, Elder Scrolls Online, which came out, I don't even know, like 10 years ago or something. It feels like it came out a long time ago.
I should look up the date when it came out. It was a while ago.
But it's been long running this whole time. Like it's been a thing. Lots of people playing it. Lots of updates. I get an email, I feel like at least once a quarter about, hey, there's a new thing in ESO. And I'm like, cool. I'm not going to play it, but I'm glad you guys are successful. But you got into it or back into it? How did you... Which one? Back into it.
It came out in 2014 for everybody listening.
Oh yeah, almost 10 years exactly.
But they just recently at what show was it? They talked about the new update that's coming in the summer, I believe.
Okay.
Hold on, just type in update. Nope, it's not right there for some reason. I think it's called Necrom or something. Anyways, it's Necron. Yeah, there's a new character class, there's new stuff, new stories. But the other reason it came up, I think it was the Xbox Direct, where they said if you subscribe, which I haven't yet, it's a free game, right? Elder Scrolls Online, MMO type RPG, using Bethesda's Elder Scrolls. But if you do subscribe for like $10, $15 a month, you can have access to every DLC they've ever done. Now, some of those DLCs are straight up Skyrim. Like, Skyrim's one of the DLCs, right?
Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. So, like, if you jump in for free, all the stuff that they've added to the game is not there? They section that off?
No, it's still kind of there. It's hard to explain. There's this huge map, and you can go pretty much anywhere. And but, like, certain storylines and certain abilities, too, are tied to the DLC. It's weird because some even items I've found, I can't use them or can't even buy them because I don't have the DLC. But in general, it doesn't affect you at all. There's a main quest, okay, for the MMO that's free, part of the free thing. And based on your character class, like, so where you start is like, you do one main story that everybody does, which is like you kind of die and then come back to life. And then you're in this like land that you picked based on your character. And in that world, you can do whatever you want. All these storylines are open and just kind of mess about. And then the other DLC stuff, again, are these kind of extra missions you can go on. But the free version right now gives you this town called Vardenfall or whatever. It's an elf town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in that world, this is going to be kind of a confusing review, Vardenfall. In that world, which was, it basically starts you off in whatever the newest like expansion you bought. But because it's free, it gives you that. And so I just started there. I forgot the main quest. I didn't do it, and I was like, oh, this is my town. And I swear to you, in just the one area they give you for free, you could spend all year. I mean, it's fucking nuts. Like, I bet. Walk anywhere, and there's a new NPC giving you a new quest. And what's really good about this game, if you can't tell I'm all in, is that, yes, the things that I love about Elder Scrolls, like the physics and throwing objects down and all that kind of like weird NPC behavior, a lot of that's gone because it's an MMO. So you can't put objects on the ground, right? If you put an object, you have to destroy it, which is kind of shitty. But
okay,
it's a server, right? It makes sense. There's tons of people in the world, server space, store, whatever. But what is there is that kind of like go anywhere, do anything thing. And they just litter this whole map. Wherever you start in, if you bought a DLC, you'll start there. If you just get the free version, you'll start where I did. And you can just go around, do the main quest for that like land, or you can do a million other side quests. And the main quest for Vardenfall, I beat just recently. And it just felt like I played a whole single-player RPG by myself.
Nice.
And now people are jumping in and out, that kind of like they're around. They're not like
real people.
Real people are around. The big hub worlds, you can see them with their huge dragons, kind of like Ultima Online, which I loved. Their whole crazy mounts and stuff like that. And they're helping you sometimes in dungeons, right? So if you go to a public dungeon, they'll help you. If you go to just like even a weird side mission and they're around, I don't know how they determine that, but like I fought monsters side by side with people randomly, but none of it's obtrusive. Like tagline, ESO figured it out. Like World of Warcraft style, any other MMO you can think of that's like successful. This is why they're still around. That mechanic of like just playing one player RPG, but then every once in a while someone's around, they did it perfectly.
I was going to ask you if it bothers you to see like someone with the name, Nutsack Tickler 420 over their head showing up in your dungeon like throws you off your game.
Yeah, it never has. It never has. And I haven't seen a ton of like D's Nuts names.
Joe Mama.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot. Yeah. But, I'll see them. Lots of times they're idle, right? Because they're like AFK or whatever. And they're just characters just sitting there. But it's if you like Elder Scrolls and you like side missions, and like me, I'm like this. I'm crazy for RPGs that have this kind of stuff. It's never ending, and especially I haven't done it. I haven't pulled the plug and don't have the money to. But when I get my paycheck, I'm thinking about it. Is if I do the ESO Plus, which is a subscription, yeah, you have access to everything ever that they ever put out ever.
And they've been around for 10 years. I mean, you've got 10 years of content waiting for you there.
And then that's not even to mention the dungeons, which again, tons of the dungeons are free too. You don't have to have the DLC for that. Which is if you want to go into a dungeon and do raids with other people, you can. But the main reason I'm bringing it to the show is because as a one-player game, because I was just playing, remember, Oblivion on Xbox and having so much fun with it, which I still am here and there. But I have almost like put Oblivion aside because this is all of the games. Like one of the very first missions is you go to Oblivion, right? Yeah, and you're like fighting monsters. And I was like, oh, well, this is the same kind of thing.
It is the thing you were playing, but more.
Yeah, but way more. And the level of progression, that dopamine hit of like, I just found a better sword. I leveled up. I can't say enough good things about it. It is fascinating. And also, I can't believe I haven't talked about it on the show much because I did play it back in probably 2016 or something. And maybe it, like you say always, like it didn't have all the bells and whistles and wasn't finely tuned. It is the most finely tuned fucking MMO, one of the ones I've ever played, ever. And on top of that, the update looks really, really fun. I forgot what's coming, summer or something like that. And by the way, in the very first main quest mission, one of the main characters is voiced by John Cleese.
Is he really?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, John Cleese? Anyways, I don't think you'll ever play it.
I did play it once, and it's not my
It's not your jam. I didn't think it would be. But for tons of people who like... Elder Scrolls in general.
Sure.
If you're scared of an MMO with like, people with weird names coming into your game all the time or, PvP, all that stuff's optional. I've been playing by myself. It's like an evening thing every evening now. I'm not worried about the daily bullshit. You know, how you get like daily stuff, and there is a store, and you can buy cosmetics, and you can buy some stuff that's like leveling, but none of it. It's just do it at your own pace. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not spending money.
Gotcha.
So I can't speak highly enough of it enough. The only one thing I'll say that's weird, and this is like behind the scenes thing, because I went
behind the scenes. Okay.
You know me, when I get into a game, I go crazy for it.
Sure.
Looked at all the guides. I want to give a shout out to Brah, We Got This on YouTube.
Okay.
His ESO Complete Beginner's Guide is stellar. It's like 2 hours, an hour and a half guide. It's so amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. It really helped me out a lot. But the weird thing that I learned about by going down the rabbit hole is when you play this game, it's like a secret. It's every enemy in the game and you are supposedly level 160. And what they do is they nerf things to make it feel like you're level 1. And
Why
so
would they do that?
I don't know how they do this, what I'm about to explain, but hear me out. As you go up in levels, they're stripping the nerfing. And then when you get to level 160 at some point, then it's just normal. Like, then it's like you're the same level as the enemies, and if you go above them, you're above them. But like, that's behind the scenes how it works.
That's weird.
Because what's cool about it is that means you can go anywhere, and you don't just like find the monster who's like level 1,000,000 and you just die.
Sure. Yeah.
So you can always attack and somehow make it okay. But if your weapons aren't good, because it's all kind of tied to weapons and armor. So your weapons and armor somehow do some math behind the scenes to like unnerf you, you know? And so when I have a better sword, I do feel like I'm hitting the monster more, but it lets you kind of do anything at that point.
Interesting. I wonder if that's, I don't know anything about why they would do that, but my guess would be because they're expecting people to play long enough to finally hit the cap. And so that, like you said, that would be the quote unquote normal level once everybody hits the cap. And so they're all doing whatever mission. They don't have to worry about scaling or something.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about scaling.
Yeah,
it's a different way of doing it. It's very strange, but I'll tell you this, it just means I can turn it on at any time and just play. And play Skyrim and play the Daggerfall. Whatever I want to play, I can play. So, man, oh man, it's fucking good. I know it's not for you, but some of our listeners.
Yeah. Well, right on. I'm sure that somebody out there is going to be very intrigued by that. And if you want 10 years of content, it's there for you. That single player / MMO thing, go for it, man, for sure.
So much.
All right. That is Elder Scrolls Online, and the Necron update is coming soon. And there's also 10 years of other updates like we just talked about.
Yep.
And you might bump it in Carlos, so you never know.
That's true, too. Oh, by the way, it's easy because right now, I don't know when I changed it, but I just changed my username just to my full name.
Carlos Rodella?
Yeah, is that like dangerous? I don't know. The internet?
Oh, whatever. People can find you if they want to find you.
That's true. But like, if you see a person walking by, it's not D's nuts. It's just my name.
It's just Carlos Rodella.
It's Carlos Rodella. Yeah.
You gave up D's nuts. I'm proud of you. And went back to
I did give up on that.
All right, folks. That is the main content of the show. Covered a lot of stuff there. Just a couple more things before we go. This is the non-gaming aspect where we bring up whatever's on our mind. It's usually TV and movies because that's what we spend a lot of time doing. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4 things to talk about. Carlos, what do you got?
Yeah, I have shows and YouTube stuff and movies.
Oh, you want to go first? You want me to go first? What do you want?
Well, sticking with the video games, Mythic Quest, which I like.
Yeah, TV show.
I think you're kind of iffy on it, right?
I watched 1 or 2 episodes and I bounced, but my wife really wants to go back to it, so we might give it another shot.
Man, oh man, it's good to go back because they'll do like mini episodes similar to like Last of Us, where it's like the whole episode's one thing, right? And one of the ones they do in season 1 is like a blast from the past. It goes back to see, the beginning of one of the guys from the company and his like history and stuff like that. I think it's in the 70s and stuff. And they just did one in season 2, which got me way back in, which is about 2 of the main characters, Ian and Poppy, and when they were kids. And it is so fucking good that I just want a series of that,
And just for people who are not familiar, Mythic Quest is the one where they're game developers, right?
So Mythic Quest is a Apple TV show, I believe. Apple TV. And it's about developers making an MMO, actually RPG MMO, and called Mythic Quest. And Poppy is one of the designers, developers on it, and Ian's like the creative head of the company. And then again, things change as season 2 happens, but they have these little mini episodes where they're like kind of like mini movies. And I just saw the one, season 2, episode 7, just blew me away. Like broken household, like drama, like, you know, real shit goes down in this. And it feels like a mini movie. It's so fucking good. And then you see, you know, some reasons why characters are the way they are. I can't speak highly enough of it. I hope you go back to it.
Okay, right on. Sounds good.
Mythic Quest. And also what just dropped yesterday, Double Fine, speaking to them again, they have a new documentary series about Psychonauts, the second game, when they went to go back to do it. It's like this epic documentary on YouTube. And then I told you about Speedrunner, but I haven't watched it yet. It's a documentary about speedrunning.
Yeah, I looked it up really quickly when you said you were going to bring it to the show. It's called Running at Speed. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Running
I forgot
at
it already.
Speed. It's a speed running documentary, and I made the joke yesterday, which I'll make again here because I'm a shameless whore, that why is this movie 2.5 hours long? It should be like 15 minutes long.
That's funny.
So.
But it's
an
also
easy joke, but I had to make it.
No, it's okay. And it's also like about old school games too, you know. I don't think it's just about speedrunning, but like how it got started and stuff.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think people should check it out. I'm going to check it out. And lastly, and I'll finish my run-on sentence, it sounds like, is I just, while we were doing the podcast, saw my buddy Cesar. He tweeted about a movie, and it was just like a clip from it. And I'd always seen this cover art and never watched it. It's a movie called The Fall.
The Fall with Brad Pitt?
No. From 2006. The director is Tarsum Singh. He directed The Cell. Do you remember The Cell?
Yeah, he also directed that Losing My Religion music video for...
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. He's got such a style. And the clip that he showed from The Fall, a movie I feel like I've seen, but I haven't, was just amazing. So check it out.
2016 or 2006? Where
2006.
2006. I'm going to look it up real quick because I do like his visual style, but I don't know. All right, I'll look it up. I don't know anything about it.
Because the visual style is so striking. The clip he shared was so cool looking. I got to find out where it's streaming and go check it out. But The Fall. And yeah, check it out.
All right, there we go. All right, let me get a couple things going here. Just you probably haven't, but have you had any chance at all to check out Brave Star, that cartoon I talked about a couple episodes ago?
Oh, I haven't, no.
All right, I was going to ask you what you thought about it. I know we talked about before, this is the Filmation cartoon from the late 80s starring Marshall Bravestar, who is he's an indigenous person, but he's not on the planet that he's... Do you call a person indigenous if they're on a different planet? No, you don't, because they're not from that planet, and that's what indigenous means.
We could say he's a Native American. Was he originally Native American, like from our Earth?
I mean, I guess so. He looks human. That's a good question. I'm going to ask somebody about that.
Okay.
Anyway, he looks like he is a Native American person who is a sheriff on a faraway planet of New Texas. So he's not indigenous to New Texas. He would be indigenous to Earth, I assume.
Yeah.
But who knows? Anyway, whatever. They didn't clarify back in the show, so I guess I don't know what's what. But anyway, I brought it up because there were questions about, appropriation of culture, but also him being one of the very, very few non-white heroes in cartoons back then in the 80s. That was very unusual, very notable. And as my son and I have been watching it, we did discuss the appropriation stuff, but we kept watching it. And I got to say, like, he is a great guy. Bravestar is awesome. Like, he espouses great values, kind of similar to He-Man, where he's always standing up for somebody who is not able to fight back, or he's always believing in the good side of things. And this show is really kind of surprisingly mature in a lot of ways. A lot of the themes they've touched on, such as accepting somebody for who they are now and not for who they were in the past. Also being willing to hear all sides of a story before you make a decision about things. I mean, every time we watch one of these episodes, like, I'm like legit turning to my kid and being like, okay, well, we got to talk about this because this was like a good moral, and Bravestar said something really good this time. So I definitely think there's some question marks about how they used iconography and themes that have been taken from Earth's indigenous population, specifically like North American indigenous. But I think otherwise, there's a lot of like really good stuff. I really want to get your feedback on this at some point. If you do have time, don't watch episode 1. It's a really weird, goofy episode. They don't start it well. Like, start it like episode 2. and just see what you think if you ever get a chance, because I'd be curious about your opinion on this.
Well, I definitely am going to now. And also, I just looked at it. A bunch of them are on YouTube, but there's a movie that's like an hour-long movie called Fallen Idol.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're supposed to watch the movie last. I think you watch that after you watch the whole series, I believe. Okay. Just start. You can stream the whole thing on YouTube for free. Just start at episode 2, and let me know. Like, do you find it offensive? Do you think it's cool? Do you think he's a good hero? Is he not a good hero? I'd be curious, with you having your native background, because to me, I definitely see some issues, but I also see like the show is doing like a lot of good. It seems like to me. So
yeah,
I just want to get your opinion on it.
Okay, anyway, I'll check it out.
There's that. I want to circle back to the Midnight Club, which I talked about a couple episodes ago. This is the show on Netflix where a bunch of terminally ill kids go to a spoopy house and do Scooby-Doo stuff to solve the mystery of what's going on. We just finished it last week, and I want to say this was an excellent series, but not for the reasons that Netflix thinks it was excellent at all. Like, it was really weird because we got really into each of the kids, all of their stories, how they were dealing with their terminal illnesses, and the ostensible plot of we're in a spooky house, there's cult stuff going on, there's ghosts, and there's a mythology. I didn't care about any of that stuff, dude. Like, it was so peripheral and non-essential. The more interesting thing were the performances of the kids, who were all teens. The idea of grappling with your mortality at such a young age, the idea of lives being cut so brutally short, and how you deal with that with the time you have left, and how they related to each other. It was just like so fucking good, dude. Like, they could have cut out all the ghost stuff, all the mythology stuff, all the spooky stuff, and it would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it. Don't get too wrapped up. Don't worry about who's doing what. Don't worry about who's wearing the ghost costume, because it's all dumb stuff and it doesn't really amount to anything anyway. But it is worth watching because I think just the performances were great, and the content was really sad, but also really touching and really good. We liked it like a lot, but not as a spooky horror story, just as like a human story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I watched I only watched the first episode, but it felt like a drama, really.
Yeah, it really is. That's where it's strongest, and it's really weird to me that they wanted to like give you the ghost story, because that was just so worthless and didn't go anywhere. Not necessary whatsoever. But we did end up really liking the Midnight Club a lot. It's one season. It ended. There's an end. Stops. There's nothing else. It's a one and done thing, and I think that's just fine. So I finished watching Wakanda Forever. Did we talk about it before? We did talk about it before, right?
Yeah, and I've also been talking about it off and on with other friends because they saw it. And
yeah,
I mentioned to my other friend that you said you didn't want the wings on the feet, right?
It was weird. It's weird. Yeah.
And then he mentioned that it was weird that they did like a whole subplot with like an army like fighting and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I got to say, I'm a Marvel fan for sure. I'm a comics fan from back in the day. I love almost all the MCU films. And even a bad MCU film is better than a lot of movies out there, just because of, usually the spectacle and the excitement and the characters and stuff. But man, I feel bad saying this, but Wakanda Forever was just not a good movie, man. It just wasn't. I appreciate they spent a lot of time memorializing Chadwick Boseman, which I think was the right thing to do. They spent quite a bit of time with the characters in the movie dealing with his loss. Of course, he died in real life of, I want to say it was colon cancer or something like that. He died really young, and he was sick when he filmed Black Panther. You knew that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that part was fine, and I think that was the right thing to do. It would have been stupid to replace him as if nothing had happened. That would have been weird, and I appreciate that they did that. But the rest of the movie felt like they didn't have anything else to say and nowhere to go, and it was just like a lot of stuff that just didn't amount to much. And we watched it, and it was kind of boring. Like, it was really kind of boring. The Black Panther stuff itself was touching, but the rest of it was just like they had a guest appearance from what's her name? Her name is Riri. She plays Ironheart in the comics, and I'm like, I'm very excited to see what she's going to be. And they barely used her at all. They like barely touched on her. She's like basically a black female Iron Man, and she was in the film for like 5 seconds and didn't really play a very important character. They had Namor, who is the Submariner, who's like one of the Silver Age, really famous Silver Age characters. And they gave him this cool like Mayan redesign, but then got into the whole backstory that was weird, and he ended up being kind of a bad guy. And I thought it was going to do the traditional thing of like, I'm a hero and you're a hero, but we don't know each other, so we got to fight at first, but then we're going to be friends and team up against the real bad guy. You know, that whole trope, right?
Yeah.
I totally thought that was going to happen, and no, that didn't happen at all. They just, I don't know. It just didn't have much to say. Like, there just wasn't a lot going on there, which was really disappointing, especially since I believe the director was Ryan Coogler, who did the first Black Panther film, which I thought was awesome. I I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that Chadwick Boseman actually dying really threw them for a loop. I'm sure it must not have been easy to recover from that. And what do you do? How do you rewrite a film? I get it. But I don't know, man. This just wasn't it. This didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Yeah, it just wasn't great. So anyway, last thing I want to mention is a new, I don't know if it's new, a sitcom we're watching on Amazon. It's called Sprung. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think I watched it a while ago. It's older, I believe.
It's not super old, but it's like maybe 1 or 2 years old or something like that. It's coming from Greg Garcia, who is the writer-director behind My Name is Earl and also Raising Hope. I'm a huge fan of both of those shows. Both of those shows were like our family jam. Those were exactly our wavelength, exactly our humor. We just really loved the characters. It was really funny. So if you like that kind of that bucket of stuff, this is exactly that again. It's Greg Garcia doing what he does best, which I'm happy to get more of it because we watched everything he did and there's nothing left. So getting more is great. But it stars his series people from Raising Hope, Garrett Dillahunt and Martha Plimpton. They played husband and wife before, but now they just play people who are not married. And it's so weird to see them not married, but also they do a great job. They're really great character actors. The series is really funny. It's about people who, which actually happened, people in prison who got released from prison because COVID happened and the prisons needed to space out the prisoners in order to keep them alive. So they released a bunch of folks who were like a minimal threat. This actually happened. And so they're taking this premise and releasing a bunch of like low threat people back into the community. In this series, he's been in jail for 25 years for selling pot because they had a mandatory minimum sentence back in the day. And it's like a whole new world to him. And also he gets out and he's like, what's COVID? What's going on? I don't understand what's happening. And this is the series, I think, out of all the TV I've seen that directly addresses COVID more than anything else out there. Everybody out there is in the middle of COVID in the early days. Like Trump is still president and he's on the TV saying it's going to be over by springtime. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows where it's from. They think it's like a bat bit somebody and it's causing a virus or something and nobody knows what's happening. Oh, no. Everybody's got masks, but they're wearing like underwear on their head as a mask and no one's taking it seriously like in the early days. And it's just like, I mean, we're still in the pandemic. COVID is still here, but it's nice to see somebody address it so directly, but also bring humor to it too. Like there are some funny aspects to it and it's not making light of COVID in the sense that it's not serious, but they are making fun of how people reacted to it. It's hard to encapsulate what makes it so good and so funny, but it's on target. I think it's really hilarious. And if you like My Name's Earl, if you like Raising Hope, if you like Greg Garcia, this is him doing what he does best. It's really, really funny stuff.
Yeah, I'll revisit it because I remember seeing it, I think, when it first came out and enjoying it. I think it was nice. Yeah. There's just so much content.
There's a lot of stuff out there. So that's all I got, Carlos. Anything else from you?
Just a few more things as I'm looking at my screen. The Last of Us, episode 4 or 5.
Oh, shit. Thank you for bringing that up. Go ahead.
They dropped it before the Super Bowl, the big football match. So it dropped on Friday, I think, or Saturday. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a good return to form. We talked about, my feelings of episode 3. Again, liked it a lot. I just had another conversation with a friend about it, and I just feel like it should have been later in the season. And also they could have maybe not made it about their whole life and just like, 40 minutes or something. Sure. Other than that, I still like it. And I just think that the newest episode is like so fucking good and so smart and taking characters and the way they did it, everything. I don't want to spoil anything. It's just really fucking good, that last episode.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. I meant to bring this up earlier, but I mentioned before that my wife and I want to watch that show, but she has not played the game.
Yeah, I know.
And I have wanted her to play this game for a long time, not only because I loved it, but because I really wanted her opinion on the ending, which, if you remember, was really divisive at the time. I guess it's probably still divisive now, but there was just like a furor about the ending back then. And I fell one way and, other people fell another way. And I was really curious as to which way she would fall. I had a feeling. But I wanted to see what she was going to say. So she hasn't played it this whole time. I've been waiting for her to play it this entire time, and the TV show is what got her to play it. So she just finished it yesterday.
Oh, she did? Okay.
She finished it. I watched most of it on the couch with her, which was really entertaining. Still holds up as a good game. Still holds up. I still really like it a lot. And then she got to the ending. We had this big discussion, and I got to say it was really kind of a moment because I've been waiting for years to have this discussion with her, and we finally got to have it, and it was really good. And of course, no surprise, she landed exactly where I thought she would land, which is exactly where I landed because we get along really well. We're on the same vibe about 99.9% of things. And it was great to finally have the discussion after so many years. So she's done that. She's doing the DLC Left Behind, which I think is amazing. And then after that, we're going to start the show. So I'll be able to chip in after a while.
You'll be able to catch up at some point. Yeah.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
Well, it's obviously, I think, pretty done phenomenally. And then before we go, Running with Speed is the doc. You're right. That was the name of it. about speedrunning, and also I am excited to see To Leslie, which is a very, very dark drama, but I hear some good things about it. It's on Amazon Prime Video. It's just like drama about a woman who wins the lottery, but then she like wastes it. It's not a heartwarming thing. It doesn't seem like, it just seems super dark, but I love that actress. I'm gonna look her name up. It's Andrea Riseborough. Allison Janney's in it too. Andrea Riseborough. I would have never known her name, but I've seen her in a million things. It's just an intense, dark drama, and every once in a while I want that. It just seems really, really good. To Leslie. Anyways.
Excellent.
Okay, let's wrap this show up.
All right, let's wrap it up. It's also a good time to wrap it up because your audio totally went sideways right there. I don't know what's going on.
Who cares?
You're fine. I know. We're right at the end of the show. We're not going to fix it now.
No, we're not. I'm not going to fix shit.
All right, folks. That's a show. As always, we'd love to get your questions and comments. Hit us up. SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @SoVideoGames. We're on Instagram @SoVideoGamesPodcast. You can hit us up individually. Carlos, where are we directing your traffic this week?
Just the TikToks, of course. I'm also on Instagram, by the way. It's Carlos Rodella Comedy on Instagram. I stopped doing like stories about Carlos the person a long time ago. So I know people who follow me are like, does he do anything besides make videos? Probably not. And you might be right. So Carlos Rodella Comedy is just my sketches on Instagram, and then Carlos Rodella on TikTok.
Excellent. Same for me. As always, you can find me on Twitter still, I guess, for the moment. Although shit's going downhill really bad over there. You can still find me on Instagram. You can find me on co-host, but I got to say I've been on Spoutable a lot lately, and I feel like that one is really getting some steam. Spoutable is pretty cool. It just launched 3 or 4 days ago. I was in the beta beforehand, so that was fine. But they've made a lot of improvements. It's getting a lot of Democratic leaning, a lot of liberal leaning people there. They crack down on abuse pretty fucking quick, and they don't put up with any Nazi shit happening, which is great. So I'm liking it. I'm getting some good connections over there. It's still starting. I mean, it's not like Twitter after 10 years. I mean, it's still new people. You gotta follow people. You gotta find your hashtags and stuff, but it's getting some good ground. I'm liking it. On all of these things, Instagram, Twitter, co-host, and Spoutable, it's the same thing. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. Track me down. You can find me there. And that's going to do it for this week's episode 323. Thank you all again for joining us here on the So Video Games podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.